Morning cuddles. Sunday morning videos for my favorite YouTubers. And a beautiful sunrise. Welcome to my appendectomy recovery journey. Good morning, my twinnies. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise. Today I was going to share a day in the life of an appendectomy recovery patient. I spend a lot of time in bed because my abdomen has 5 incisions in it. And what some of you may not know is this was actually my 4th abdominal surgery that I've had since 2014, I believe. No, 2013 is when I had my first one. I am also a person with neurofibroma. And so what started my original abdominal surgery journey was having masses that were growing on my spinal column removed. And so my first 2 surgeries were not able to be done laparoscopically. They had to cut me completely open. I say I was filleted. So my abdomen has a scar from above my belly button all the way down my pelvis, and it now has a total of 10 little incisions because my 3rd surgery was laparoscopic. So I have 10 holes and 2 incisions where they filleted me. Crazy. When my daughter was helping me get ready for the day the other day, she's like, "Oh, mommy, your poor tummy." I'm like, I am a warrior. These are battle scars. I'm proud of my scars. There have definitely been times when my life has been threatened, and the fact that I've come through on the other side and my body is recovering is incredible. So with that said, we're gonna get this day started. Okay, babies, time for the morning walk. Let's go. Yeah. Take it slow, mama. So this is what my morning typically consists of. We do a walk through the house. Doctor's orders is to walk every 2 to 3 hours. And so this is what I do. I look at my horrible pedicure that desperately needs to be done again. Or I look at the incredible view that is currently fogged out. This happens occasionally on our big living room windows. Usually by midday it's all cleared up. It's just moisture. Until it's time to crawl back into bed. So Joe and I made a decision when we bought the house to get a brand new bed, and it's one of those ones that lifts the head and the legs. We figured it might be the last bed that we buy, and so we wanted to get a really nice one that, in case either of us got sick, it would be easy to convalesce in. we certainly didn't realize that within the first year of buying the house, we would both need access to a bed of this nature. And so we crawl in and get settled. This is my life as an appendectomy recovery patient. So Shelby, I'm working on putting together my appendectomy recovery video. Do you mind helping me with that?
I guess not. I mean, the internet can behold my morning glory.
What are you doing?
Here, on my good side?
Yeah. You silly girl. Delivery for Tasha.
Oh no. The babies are jealous.
Lovely. So I wanted to take just a couple minutes with you to share a few of my very profound experiences at the hospital, because I think that it's important for us to keep our minds open to when our loved ones present themselves to us. This is the first major surgery I've had without my mom here in the physical, and so also having it be an emergency surgery, having it be during a pandemic when nobody can be in the hospital with me, literally going directly from the recovery room into my dad's car so he could bring me back up to the mountain house. There was just so many things about the experience. It's nothing like anything I've ever had before in the last previous surgeries. So first off, something that was really, really important to my mom was for us to be in tune with our bodies. She very much believed that we are a soul having a human experience, and that our bodies were, our soul is the puppet master and our bodies are the puppet. And similar to the Avatar movie, you know, we have these bodies that we can leverage, but our true essence is in our soul. And that as we're going through these experiences, that if we really quiet our mind, which can be deceiving, and ask our soul what's happening with our body, that we can get that clarity. So one of the things that was so profound for the medical team was that when I walked, or not walked, when I got rolled, because they took me in a wheelchair because I was in so much pain, and they basically said, "So what do we have going on?" I said, "I have severe abdominal pain in the right quadrant of my abdomen. I'm pretty sure I have appendicitis, and I'm pretty sure you're going to need to remove it." My doctor looked at me like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Show me where your pain is." And I showed her. And she said, "Well, that's not typically where your appendix is. That's more of a gallbladder thing. So why don't we run a few tests, and we'll go through the process, and we'll see, what's going on." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Sounds good." Um, I think for her, though, the look of shock on her face when I was very clear about what was going on. And then she was surprised at how I was presenting, because I didn't present like a typical appendicitis patient. So, I mean, we talked through other options. It could be gallstones, it could be kidney stones, it could be, there was all these things. And I'm like, pretty sure it's appendicitis, but yeah, let's run the tests and confirm. And I went into the hospital at 2:30. They didn't do the scan till 8:30 that night, but literally within 15 minutes, the doctor came in and she goes, "Well, you were right." And I said, "I was right." And she goes, "Yep, you have appendicitis, and we just put you on the schedule for an emergency appendectomy." And I went, "Yes, yes, let's do this, let's do this." And she was like, looking at me, she's like, "I have never had a patient be excited about having surgery." So here's the thing, guys. I don't think it was that I was excited about having surgery, okay? Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, and there's always risks when you go under and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that. So I took a few minutes and I explained to her why I was excited. I said, "My mom passed a couple years ago, but something that she was very adamant about instilling in me is listening to my body. And that if you ask your soul, it will know what's happening with your body. Like, your body will talk to you and tell you what's going on." I said, "This is the first pretty serious thing that's happened since my mom's passed away for me. And I feel confident that my body told me what was going on. Why I am celebrating is this is a confirmation that I learned the lesson, that I took my mom's advice and I figured out how to listen to my body." Oh gosh, that's huge. That is absolutely huge for me. And so I was super proud of myself because it's kind of a big deal, to me, to be able to actually implement my mom's wisdom. She was my hero. And I saw all through her cancer treatment, everything that she went through. She was so in tune with her body and so able to heal herself. So shortly thereafter, I asked her about the mass. I had had another mass that was discovered 3 years ago. And I opted to not have it surgically removed for the first time because I had had so many back-to-back abdominal surgeries that I just didn't want to have another surgery, ironically. And so, long story short, I asked her to check the CT scan and see if there was another mass, and it was gone. It was no longer there. And I was so, again, excited and proud of myself because when that mass presented itself, it was before my mom had passed, and I had told her what was going on and that I'd opted to not have surgery. And she was proud of me, and she said, "You know what, Tasha, your body can heal that mass. Like, you need to focus your energy on healing and health and well-being, and you can make that mass go away." I'm like, I was in a season of my life when I thought my mom was crazy. But when the doctor said it's gone, I was like, oh my gosh, I could just feel my mom. As I was going through my training from her, as she was instilling all these things in me, when I would finally click, she would get this amazing smile on her face and this incredible sparkle in her eyes, and she would wink at me. Like, "I see what you did there. You did it. You got it, kiddo." And I felt that. I felt that warmth from her. I felt all of that. So I was in a much smaller room and they needed to move me into the pre-surgical, like the operating prep part of the hospital. And so they moved me in there. And then here comes this crazy, vivacious, over the top, entertaining nurse, an experience I've never had before. He's like, hey, Cramalicious, hey, Crammeister, Cramarama, and he was like doing all these voices and he was super like positive. And he was like, what we got, I've got the best cocktail in the house for you tonight. And he's setting me up with my pre operation antibiotics. And then all of a sudden, like I'm joking with him and all this stuff, it was crazy. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he starts singing Elvis Presley songs. I'm like, what? Really? Who does this? Like, this never happens. Like, you never get serenaded by a nurse, especially Elvis songs. And I was just like, Mom, is that you? Like, I didn't obviously say that out loud because I didn't want to freak out the people around me. But inside me, I was like, oh my goodness. And so when he was done singing his song, I responded with a Patsy Cline song because it was like a sing-off in the hospital. It was awesome. And I had a roommate at that time and she was loving it. And then he sang another Elvis song and he just brought so much light and so much joy to the room. And then he left and I literally never saw him again. The nurse that was assigned to me ended up walking in like 10 minutes later to get my vitals. And she's like, oh, sorry, I was out on my lunch break. I'm just here to check in on you. So he was literally just there for a few minutes. That was it. And I swear my mom sent him to me. I swear she did. It would so be something my mom would do. Well, then it became time to have surgery. And the OR nurses came in to grab me. And one of them was, super sweet, very gentle soul, but you could tell she was very professional, not, awesome nurse, but she just wasn't as, like personable, I guess. And the other nurse, like as soon as she saw me, she literally took her hand and started rubbing my head. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Number one, that's not something a nurse would normally do. Number two, that is something my mom would do before every single surgery I've had. From the first surgery I had at 14, which was a maxillofacial surgery to fix my face. To my abdominal surgeries when I gave birth to Shelby. First thing she did was rub my head. It was so sweet and so touching. And I told her right away, I told the nurse right away, I said, I swear my mom sent you to me. Because I was wondering, how am I going to get through this without my mom? And she said, of course. Of course, she sent me to you. I'm here to make sure you're okay. I'll be the last face you see when you go under, and I will be the first face you see when you wake up. And when I woke up, she did the same thing. She rubbed my head, told me I made it, told me I did a great job, and that everything was okay. Yeah, pretty special moments. Pretty special moments, and getting to share memories of my mom and to be so touched through the experience and to actually be excited about my well-being and understanding that this surgery was a step towards health for me. As many of you know, I've been struggling with SIBO probably for several years, but diagnosed earlier this year, and which is small intestine bacteria overgrowth is what that stands for, and which is not good. It can definitely shorten your lifespan because it means that you're not digesting food well. And so it's been a long haul. Well, it wasn't going away. I wasn't getting better. I also wasn't very good at sticking with the diet. But even when I did stick with the diet, like it felt like I just wasn't getting as well as quickly as I thought I would. And hard to get well if you have an infected appendix. So anyways, I'm super, super excited about this next phase of recovery, and hopefully getting the SIBO completely under control. Like, they did so many super, super powerful antibiotics. The likelihood of me having, definitely I won't have nearly as much bacteria in my small intestine. Most of it might even be completely gone. And so now it's just making sure that I fill my body with good whole foods to keep it stable and healthy. And Shelby is doing a great job helping me with that. So anyways, those were the really, really neat experiences that I had at the hospital, and I thought it would be fun to share the stories with you. Now, back to my recovery.
Here are your appetizers.
Oh, thanks.
I will go get your soup.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I know. Bringing in the main course. Some chicken and vegetable soup. And there she is.
Hi.
With her little heating pads. Look at them go. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. So, another thing from my mom is she believed in homemade chicken soup for healing. Bone broth, fresh vegetables, and chicken. And so it's one of the first things I taught Shelby how to make. So good. Brings healing and is super, super gentle on the digestive system. And then high acidic fruit is very good for SIBO.
Enjoy.
And juice. Thank you. It's good stuff. I know it's helping me heal. I'm very grateful for Shelby's help. It's probably the best part about having surgery is having someone take care of you and literally wait on you hand and foot. It's amazing. I'm very, very grateful. Wow. Looks like there's fog rolling in. I don't think I've seen that quite like that yet. So cool. It's amazing how the view changes from minute to minute. Very cool. And the radio tower. She's gone. She's completely gone. Wow.
Alrighty, time for your next meal. How doing?
Good.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You enjoy. No,
I
not
will.
for
Thank
beakers.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Say hi. Hi. Bye.
So yummy. Joe's mom is here now. She goes home on the weekends while Shelby's here to get a break. But that she came this evening and made dinner. It's so good. Fun fact, I love curry chicken. Any kind of curry. So good. Indian, Thai, Chinese, doesn't matter. I love it all. Well, I was hoping to get a beautiful sunset for you folks this evening, but the fog made it all the way up to the mountain house, and now we can't see much past the fence. So I appreciate you all joining me today with my little adventure of self-care, rest, and foodage. I hope you enjoyed it.